Hello and welcome back to World Talks. Now, to discuss the situation of gas and oil transit through Ukraine from Russia into Slovakia and Hungary, I'm delighted to be joined by Andrej Matisak. He's Deputy Head of Foreign Desk at the Pravda newspaper. Mr. Matisak, welcome to TVP World and thank you for taking the time.
Good morning from Bratislava. Thanks for having me.
Good morning to you. So Slovakia and Hungary have not diversified their sources of energy. Why only them? Most other countries in the EU seem to have managed.
Kinda, yes. But I also would add Austria to this, and Austria is very important in all this equilibrium because they are also receiving a lot of fossil fuels from Russia, and they're also not that great in diversifying their resources. And of course, Austria is just bordering Slovakia and Hungary. So we have like three countries at least that are still somewhat counting on Russian fossil fuels. As you mentioned in your report, for example, the dependence of Hungary even increased even after the Russian invasion started in February 2022. And the fact is that I think this is clearly a problem for all the countries because we are trying to count on something that we don't know if will be reliable for the future. Prime Minister Fico, Slovak Prime Minister, said that he wants standard relations with Russia after the war stops. But when the war stops and how the peace will look like, of course, we don't know.
Okay, so what's behind this? Is it an inability of these three countries to actually find alternative sources of energy, or is there a political reasoning underneath this behaviour? I mean, after all, Slovakia has refused to support Ukraine in its defence. Same thing with Hungary. Which one is it, or is it a combination of the both?
Probably a combination of both. You can say it's usually like this. Usually you don't have one big reason for something, and also reasons differ from country to country. I would say. I think with Hungary, they're really betting on cheap Russia energy. They're willing to take even more, even during the war. Slovakia, we are trying to do at least something. It was said that the Ukraine will stop the flow of gas via its territory from Russia at the end of the year, which is definitely not very. I think the Slovak government is definitely not very happy about it. But on the other hand, we are talking about the cooperation with Ukraine, energy hub, electric interconnection. So this is a little bit different situation than with Hungary. When Hungary, we are talking today, this morning, because yesterday the governments of Ukraine and Slovakia they had a meeting. It's very hard to imagine that the similar meeting between the Hungarian government and Ukrainian government. So the relations are a little bit different, and all countries are trying to find a way how to manage for the future. But I think the bottom line is really, I think that the leaders in countries like Hungary and Slovakia, they are still, as I said, betting on cheap energy from Russia or cheaper energy from Russia. And they are basically saying that we need this, otherwise our economies will suffer, our citizens will suffer, and so on. But I think this is a short-sighted view. This is my opinion. I think we should get rid of Russian fossil fuels as fast and as much as possible. I think it is possible. You've been talking about Russian gas, but the fact is that there were no sanctions against Russian gas. Except for now, just few months ago, there were first very little sanctions on Russian LNG, but on the pipeline gas, there were no sanctions from the EU. But still, And of course, it's the volume of gas dropped also because of Nord Stream 2 was destroyed. But I think that even without sanctions, it was possible to somewhat replace Russian gas. So I think we should move with this as fast as possible.
Yes, well, Slovakia and Hungary may not have a choice very soon. All Ukraine has to do is refuse to renew the agreement, the transit agreement with Russia. What do these countries do then? I mean, winter's coming. People need warm homes.
Yeah, but I think this is not such a big problem. We have storages, and plus we are trying to find a way, how to get other gas to our countries. There are possibilities. I'm not an energy analyst, so I cannot tell you how it might work. You have to probably ask other people who are more knowledgeable in this. But I think that there are talks about bringing Azeri gas to Europe, and it's happening. And so it's not like if Ukraine will stop the flow of gas, Slovakia or Hungary will freeze. They are interconnected to the others, and of course we have other sources of gas in Europe. I think what was done, basically what we have been doing from the 2009, and there was the first gas crisis. I think that EU was relatively good at trying to find new resources or trying to better interconnect countries. And of course, there is a gas in storages in many countries that might be brought to Slovakia. So, I don't think this is, I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. But I really don't think that that we are not going to have a gas. I mean, Slovakia or Hungary because Ukraine decided to stop the gas flow.
Understood. Now, Croatia has offered to supply oil to both Slovakia and Hungary from its own stores, and yet that has met with a very cold reception. Why?
I think especially Hungarians, there are political reasons. As I said, I think they're betting on Russian energy and they are more dependent on Russia also, probably also politically, you can argue. Slovakia is a little bit, again, there is a difference between Slovakia and Hungary, even if the rhetoric of Prime Minister Fico towards Ukraine is sometimes pretty shocking. But we are really trying to find a way of cooperation. I mean, Slovak government is really trying to find a way of cooperation. But don't forget, for Slovakia, the biggest Slovakia refinery, oil refinery, Slovnaft, is owned by Hungarians, by the MOL company. And so basically, we can say that decisions are made in Budapest over oil. And it seems that Prime Minister Orban's government is really willing to fight even own neighbors like Croatia and saying things that, according to Croatians, are not true. That they don't have enough volume of oil and stuff like this. There are studies showing that it is enough oil we can break via Adria. But Hungary decided against it. It seems to me, when you ask me about reasons why politicians are doing this or doing that, it seems the reasons at this moment are political.
Understood. Well, we'll certainly be watching what happens very closely. But thank you very much indeed for sharing your analysis, Mr. Matisak, with our audience.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day, sir. And that's all from us in this episode of World Talks. Don't go away, though. Lots more coming up. Bye for now.